Hello everyone, and welcome to our Horizon Zero Dawn Let's Play. Today we embark upon our adventure with Sun's Judgment.
I barely turn a profit even in the best of times, especially since I usually hand out what I can to those in need. Would you care for some fruit? Better enjoy it before someone runs off with the rest of it.
Has someone been stealing from you?
Yes, almost every night. Not enough to force me to close shop, but definitely enough to hurt.
Have you found any sign of the thief?
Just a couple of old rinds near the storehouse. Not much to go on.
Why haven't the guards looked into it?
The gods blame the wildlife, but I doubt they believe it. I guess they have more to worry about than a woman and her livelihood.
Is there anyone you suspect?
I've known most people here since childhood. None of them strike me as a food thief. You want to talk about other vices, however?
I know how to track. I could look for the thief.
Really? Thank you. You could start in my storehouse by the river. Someone must be desperate to steal rather than just ask me.
I'll see what I can find.
Alrighty here, we're actually going to be doing a little bit of tracking. There is some wildlife, interestingly enough. That could potentially be what's going on, but I think we're going to learn a lot more than just wildlife meandering around the premises. Now, of course, we're actually going to start in the storehouse. Let's see if we can find any useful information once we're inside.
This barrel's been moved recently. There we go. Tracks.
Alright, we are definitely on the hunt this time around. It does look like, once again, a little bit of wildlife over on that left-hand side. But we're actually coming up on something pretty important here. Looks like still moving around the vegetation. Obviously, quite a bit of tall grass. Maybe moving up into the mountain range, potentially. So maybe there's a hideout or maybe some small children. You know, this is all kind of stuff that you'd really have to be wary of during this time period, considering that people would be really hungry, but they necessarily wouldn't be asking for assistance. They'd be a little bit more prone to kind of just go about doing what they wanted to.
Fruit. The rabbits seem to like it, though. Oh, look. The thief dropped more fruit for me to follow. If I can see it in all this grass.
Looks like we're still moving over here. Maybe it was the wildlife, but I mean, I'm not really seeing any signs of humanity just yet. Obviously, just quite a bit of fruit that was not able to be carried all the way to the very end. It's looking like we're getting a little bit closer. Obviously, got a very, very large area all the way over here. So I think we're actually going to continue to venture over. Once again, tall grass. Not particularly great for us, but could be much worse, though. Looks like we're coming down to potentially some of these saw teeth. Obviously, they're not particularly nice. Obviously, we do also have some hogs over here, which would be great for kind of doing some harvesting.
Okay, boars. Out of the way so I can have a look. Trail of footprints this time.
Well, that is a great sign, but I'm kind of curious why the boars actually aren't taking more of that food that's just kind of sitting there. I mean, maybe they've been snacking the whole day, but as of the moment, I mean, I feel like if I was a boar, I'd be just really piling on the pounds there for just a brief moment, because you don't really know when your next meal is going to be coming, but obviously maybe they've already been snacking away throughout the day. Does look like we do actually have some really, really defined tracks over here. So obviously we're kind of getting a little bit closer, but once again, moving into the rock formation.
Must have climbed up.
Continuing on with the trend of doing some climbing all the way to the very tippy top here, and it looks like we do have a rope.
By the sun, forgive me, forgive me!
There's our thief. And he's in trouble.
Alrighty, well, we're going to have some very, very nice friends over here that want to play with us, so obviously not a particularly great thing that I want to see, considering that, you know, it's 3 versus 1. We do basically have a coward that's just kind of hiding, so I don't think he's really going to be a whole lot of help for us, considering that he was sitting behind a rock just moments ago.
Where did he run off to?
Alrighty here. Well, it does look like he actually ran over that way, so let's see if we can't catch up with him and see kind of what's going on. You know, he did look like he was somebody that would basically be stealing fruit. I mean, let's be honest here. He didn't particularly look like a civilian that was out and about making big impacts to the overall culture of the facilities and kind of, you know, trying to make change in the political government that governs all these cities. I don't quite think that's quite his deal.
Thank you, Savage! You saved me from the sun's judgment.
I did what now?
I left the misery of Sunfall not long ago, knowing that I'd never be welcome back in Meridian. So, I've been stealing food from a woman at Bright Market just to survive. But the Glinthawks must be the judgment of the sun.
You believe it attacked you because you were stealing.
Why else? What if I beg forgiveness from the lady? Will that absolve me and save me from the Glinthawks?
I took care of the Glinthawks, but yes, you should return and apologize. The woman you stole from is kind. She'll forgive you.
The sun has spoken! Thank you again, Savage. May the sun light your way!
Great. People finally stopped calling me outcast, and now it's Savage.